Stay tuned.
Elevated TV radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen. You are listening to Elevated TV and radio. You are listening to Elevated TV radio.
Hello, everybody. What's up, people? My name is Timmy Dakolo, and you're listening to Elegbete TV Radio. Stay tuned.
Elevated TV radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen. You are listening to Elevated TV and radio. You are listening to Elevated TV radio.
You like what you see? Let's go there. All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Idafi Matthew Esogene. You love to call me the Elegbete Woman Sports. Today we're going to talk about to be or not to be. Pep Guardiola, the thinker man, is he overthinkering? Okay, it's time for Jurgen Klopp. People ask this question. Is it time for Jurgen Klopp to make a massive clear out and refresh the Liverpool team? Is Pep Guardiola thinking too much with his squad? Should Graham Potter, let's help him to be a good coach now, should he, if N'Golo Kante is back to full fitness, we all know that he can be the damager. We all know that he can stop any opposition. Should Graham Potter move Enzo Fernandez forward, like in the Granit Xhaka role, and bring back N'Golo Kante to the base of the midfield, the defensive midfield, and just stay in front of the two centre-back? Or you think injury has taken too much toll on him and the team should keep playing the way they're playing? There's just something wrong with the Chelsea team. Seem to have all the players, but they're not playing as a unit, as a team. What the solution is now that N'Golo Kante is said to be back fit and there's a new contract on the table? Well, it's your call, not my call, so I'm going to depend on you a lot to do this one. But while I am depending on you, let's talk about some of the things that went down yesterday. Yes, it was Champions League night Wednesday edition. And, like it is said, Champions League, anything is possible. There is no excessive respect for anybody. If you come ready, you might get it. If you're not ready, you just might lose it. Pep Guardiola has been accused of changing his team too much. Well, Inter Milan needed a goal and a red card to FC Porto to be able to win that game by a single goal. It's not like there is any away goal rule anymore, but it was Lukaku to the rescue in the 86th minute. And when you look at the FC Porto team, the way they create chances, the way they play at home, does look like 3 weeks' time or so, Inter Milan might be out of the competition. I don't know. I'm not saying they're out, but they just might be out. Well, at home, Manchester City are also a very solid side. It is difficult to also beat RB Leipzig in Germany, in East Germany, okay, as they are the only East German team in top flight in German football. Well, Manchester City scored first through Riyad Mahrez, ball that went in to the net in a very beautiful style, and you would have thought that Man City are up for this. They were going to run out over RB Leipzig, but RB Leipzig was not having any of it as their defender, Gvardiol, jumped high over everybody in the City defense to nod home an equalizer in the 70th minute, and for the remaining 20 minutes plus added time, nothing changed and nothing changing in that game, and then one goal apiece. Let's not forget that in the African Cup of Nations under 20, Nigeria got back to winning ways as we beat Egypt 1-0. Senegal were good for their money. It seems like Senegal have it going across board from the senior team to their junior team. Senegal won 3 goals to nothing against the Mozambican under 20 team. Well, let's come back now to European football and talk about all of the conversation that's been going on. After Real Madrid came from 2 goals down to beat Liverpool 5 goals to 2, a whole lot of talking points have come up. Okay, every time Liverpool is about to play against Real Madrid, we hear revenge on the card, revenge on the card. But then every time that happens, Liverpool get beaten. Whether it's the final of the Champions League, whether it's the knockout stage, they just get beaten. But this last one was just one defeat too many, right? And the way and manner it came. People say that Anfield is a place you cannot go and be so cocky, arrogant, or confident. But Real Madrid took confidence to another level as they let Liverpool score 2 goals first and then eventually came back to wallop and massacre them 5 goals to 2. Seems like they were just not in the races at all. Would have been better to lose 3-0 than taking a 2-goal lead and then losing that, letting that slip and then losing by 5 goals to 2. Having said that, there's so many names in the lips of everybody. There's a talk that Virgil van Dijk has lost his aura. Trent Alexander-Arnold will be dropped if he had competition, and Joe Gomez is too inconsistent to be reliable. Why it isn't just Liverpool's midfield the club needs to overhaul. Yesterday, I remember saying that Liverpool needs 8 players. Sabati said not 8 players, but right now the call, it seems like they listen to us and they listen to me, and the call is very, very clear. There is a player that I always start busy doing nothing. His name is Jack Grealish. It's a time for Pep Guardiola to drop Jack Grealish and look for someone else to be in that position. When the season started, they said that Man City have 3 players in every position. But when I look at the way they play these days, I'm almost tempted to say they are just not complete in every position. Some players cannot be substituted. I know that a lot of people say that the arrival of Alan have changed the way the team play, but I just think that the whole team, something is wrong. I'm forced to question Arteta. How did this team beat you by those huge number of 3 goals to 1? How did this Man City? Because for me, every time Man City play, even though they control the possession, there's just something in the game that tells me they are vulnerable, they can't be beaten. And they played against Arsenal, beat Arsenal 3 goals to 1 when they cannot even beat Nottingham Forest. They can't beat RB Leipzig. Damn. I'm not saying Leipzig is a walkover, it's a pushover team, but I just don't understand. I mean, previously, Man City beating Arsenal is no big deal, it's no news. But currently, this Man City team, to me, even better insurance will beat them. Yeah. Get angry if you don't like what I've said, but I think that better insurance will beat this Manchester City team if they are ready. Yes, we hear that Eric Ten Hag have employed about 8 to 12 analysts that helps him to analyze the opposition. Well, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have only one match analyst. His name is Egwaji. Okay, but Manchester United have 8 match analysts, and it is said that they are the brain behind it. Okay, Luke Wright is one of them. He's an analyst. Keita Hasagawa is another one. Another Luke Lexensby is another analyst. Darren Fletcher is technical director, but he also helped with analysis. Kevin Cage is another analyst. Richard Hafiz is a goalkeeper analyst, and there is a whole lot more where that came from. So maybe, just maybe, okay, just maybe. And then there's Tom Green, who's an analyst. There's Craig Merson, who's a goalkeeper coach. Don't forget, the secret to the rejuvenation of Marcus Rashford is the employment of former South African goalbanger and former FC Porto goal scorer working under Jose Mourinho, former top goal scorer in the 1996 African Cup of Nations, Benedict McCarthy of the Bafana, former FC Porto player, says he's the guy who's turned Marcus Rashford into a goal-scoring machine. Yes, and there is the talk that a little bit of investment and Man United will win the title next season. That's the conversation. Next season's champion select is Manchester United. Do you agree or do you disagree? And in Italy, is there any way Is there anyone in this place who have something against Napoli winning the Serie A or the Scudetto? Speak now or forever hold your peace. That's the talk that is going on in Italy right now. The marriage between Napoli and the Scudetto is all but a few games away. If you think that they are going to throw away the title, please give me your reason. If you think that they are not going to throw away the title, please say so as well. Join on the comment section. Let's have some talk. And you could add any other thing that you think should be added to it. Is it true that Virgil van Dijk have lost his aura? What do you have to say about that? Yes, Mark Lawrence said Liverpool's midfield needs a mentality shift. What kind of mentality do you suggest? Okay, they just don't control matches anymore. People used to ask what Gini Wijnaldum did. Now we know what Gini Wijnaldum did. Yeah, when you let good players go, it eventually come back to haunt you. That's exactly what we are seeing now. Don't forget, we are approaching the weekend of the Carabao Cup. Okay, let me also tell you that Manchester United is being super rated from panic buy to Ten Hag's guy. Okay, lonely Marcel Sabitzer has impressed the Man United midfield with recovery, challenges, and progressive passing. He could well be the perfect long-term partner for Casemiro. Now, do you see Casemiro as a long-term player? I thought, okay, that Casemiro was a stopgap, because of his age and all that, and probably will pretty much soon be out of the conversation. But hey, that is another conversation. Gabriel Martinelli starts celebrating before he scored as the winger pokes home Arsenal's foot off the bench as they came from behind to win. Now, against Aston Villa, some people said that behavior is not good. What do you have to say about it? That he shouldn't have done his hand wide and be celebrating before he scored. Is there a problem with that? I mean, I don't know if there is. If whatever I say, I say, okay, I'm an Arsenal fan, that's the reason why. But what do you think? And lately, Newcastle have not been finding the wins the way they used to, even though the teams behind them are not doing well. And your own words, in your own thought process, do you think Newcastle are going to fall off the top four race, or the other teams that are chasing them are too poor to be able to make it into that top four, as the case is currently? What do you think of Newcastle? You think another English coach again is going to bottle it just the same way Graham Potter is bottling things as a bottling company? Oh, God of heaven, as a bottling company at the bridge, Chelsea actually do bottling, but there's a Chelsea drink and they put it in bottle. So probably that's why Oga Potter is bottling. So I don't know, but what do you think? Newcastle are in the fifth position now, even though they are one game behind Tottenham Hotspur. When the season started, especially in the first round when they were firing, at some point, people said that there is a possibility that Newcastle would overtake Man City and overtake Arsenal, and then become the surprise team to win it. And I've always said Newcastle, an English coach winning the Premier League, they are poles apart. Okay, they are polar opposite. It's never gonna happen. And now we see the two English coach. One is in 10th position, another one is in 5th position. Leave the English coaches coaching the other teams like Sean Dykes and the rest of them. Let's focus on the ones that we expect to do well at the top. So, do you think that Newcastle would make the top four at the end of the season, or they just have opened the back door for a team like Tottenham Hotspur to come in, or probably even Fulham or Brighton or Liverpool could go on a run? Because some people say that, okay, Liverpool have, for instance, 2 games in hand on Manchester United. Liverpool wins those 2 games, they go to 41 points. That's exactly where Newcastle is right now. And from there on, anything is possible. But we all know that this Liverpool team is so bad that counting a win for Liverpool for games in hand is like saying your chicken will give birth to an elephant. That is as impossible as the word can be. I know that people say that nothing is impossible, but hello, chicken, even with science, cannot give birth to an elephant. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's look at some of the messages that you guys have brought in. Phil Bobby, he said, well done for all the posts, all the sports news you give us every day. Thank you very much, Phil. What's going on with the Boa Group people? It's been a while. I got any invite to an event? It's been a while. I hear from you. I hope you're fine. I hope everything is good. How is that Yaya Ortega guy? I hope he's good as well. Akbaz Baba is saying Napoli are winners already. Mingo Bros. Nice being here once again. It's been a while. Akbaz, where have you been? I hope you're good and everything is good at your end. Akbaz Baba said Newcastle will be fighting for a Europa League spot. Okay, so they are no longer in the top four race, right? Phil Bobby, so I don't think Manchester United will win the league next week. Now, next season we'll talk about next week. Next season. Okay. Dami Links, he said, Elegbete Baba, how are you? He said Newcastle will enter the top four if they continue the way they are playing. Okay. Let's see. I don't think they will make the top four anyway. But I'll be very, very surprised if they do. I will be extremely, extremely surprised if they do. Right? If you're there, I'm here. Let's have a talk. Okay. And okay, so somebody sent me a message and I need to answer that one quickly. Hey. This one is on WhatsApp. Hey, Edafe, my name is Joel. Joel, how are you? Joel Obi. We used to have one Joel Obi who came to the national team and then last. I want to know how you, I think I've been asked this question so many times, how you keep going, because I've tried my hands on YouTube as well and I just couldn't hack it and I packed up and left it, even deleted the account. How do you find the strength and courage to go? Because I did mine for 4 years and I couldn't even get monetized with all the content that I put in. How did you do yours? And every time you come on air, you put up a smiley face. You're always happy. Seems like everything is going well for you. But at the same time, because I've done YouTube, I know how incredibly difficult it is. How have you managed to crack it without breaking down or feeling depressed? Because to be very honest with you, just bumble everything together. I was depressed doing content and getting 3, 4, 5 views and seeing other people getting hundreds and millions of views. How have you been able to do it? Because your numbers are also not incredibly good. So have you managed to stay sane without losing it? Have I managed to stay sane without losing it? Okay. I'm coming, Joel Obi. I'm going to come and say you. Damile says Manchester United, Obaka, who is your money on? My money is on Manchester United, but this is it. My money is on Manchester United, but that Barcelona team could spring a surprise. But my smart money, the safe bet, is on Manchester United. Manchester United right now are a different kettle of fish. They are very, very different elements. But Man United allow Lewandowski the space. Because I think Barcelona are going to come into this game with the let's go and die. Okay. Man United allow them that space, is going to be a problem. But Man United team is faster than the Barcelona team. This is where Man United have an edge. They are faster than the Barcelona team. They have more play breakers in the middle. Sabitzer and the rest of the guys in that midfield could break any play. And Barcelona's strength is also in that midfield. I think that Barcelona's attack line, whoever the coach plays, they don't have a synergy. There's no symphony in their play. So that's always a problem. It doesn't mean, they're topping in La Liga. So everybody is listening to me like, what's it that you say? What rubbish is he saying? Yeah, I agree. But in La Liga, they are dominating. And it's fine. But I think this is also what happened to them in the Champions League. When they come out to play in the Champions League, they just seem to be losing that harmony, that togetherness, that willingness for everybody to want to play for each other, and that's a problem. Their transition is also, in the pocket of space that they have, their transition is also not as fast as the Manchester United transition. So when they sweep forward with those short passes, moving everybody forward, there's gap at the back. Those are the gap that Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, and the rest can exploit. And then if you add Garnacho to that conversation, my smart money is on Manchester United. If Barcelona win, for me, it's going to be an upset. And it sounds strange saying that Barcelona beating Manchester United is an upset. But in today's game, in this era, right now, where they are, Barcelona win is going to be an upset for me. I'm putting all my money, everything on Manchester United to win, because I think that slowness would affect them. Carls underscore 347 is saying Newcastle just replaced the likes of Everton and Spurs on the 5th and 6th position. Okay, if you say seriously, this is the question I would love to ask you seriously. Thank you, Joel, for that question. Really? Even you? My brother? Okay. Cars underscore 347. He said today now. It's today your birthday. Oh, happy birthday to you. And thank you for all you do for us. God bless you. Bobby said Barcelona will go through definitely. Daily Man has said United will win 2-1 tonight. Well, others people they say definitely. For that Barcelona, that to be slow. Okay, so let me answer Joel's question. Becoming owner of a radio station or online TV was not really a thought out plan. Like, okay, I sat down and I wrote a business plan. And I said, this is what I want to do. This is a response to my getting fired. But originally, before I got fired, let's backtrack a bit. Originally, what brought me to YouTube was record keeping. So YouTube for me was like my ledger. It was the ledger. It's my diary, right? A place where, and this is what happened. In 2017 March, there was a March 3rd or March 4th. I can't remember, March 4th or so. I was saying something on radio, and a caller called in and said, "If you lie, where's your proof?" And this was me telling I was saying on radio that I predicted on the 2nd of June 2016 that the the trust team was not really playing when people were complaining about pattern. And I said, I remember when the draw was made on the 2nd, and I predicted immediately that Nigeria was going to qualify for the World Cup with 2 games to spare. And as I said, I think on April when the show me Anthony McKenna, and I said, remember when I said this was going to happen? So I'm not good at tracking tweets. When I make a tweet, I don't save it and say, okay, tomorrow I'll bring it up. I'm not good at tracking. I don't know how people manage to, they can bring your 10 years ago tweet. I don't know how to do that. But I said that and I moved on. And then some callers called in and said that you're lying. It's not possible. You put. And then I said this. I said, which is difficult to say that the Super Eagles were going to qualify with 2 games to spare, or to predict that after Barcelona lose to Paris Saint-Germain 4-0, and I said they were going to win 6-1, 3 weeks later, and they won. And then I remember when that penalty kick was introduced, where in the FA Cup finals, when they say you will play, the second team will play 2, then the third team will play like that, the A and B system. And I said, before the first kick, before they even play the match, I said this. I said, whoever plays B will win the penalty kick, because it's easy. It's easy logic. The psychology, the strength will move to this team. So I just noticed that a lot of people, it was the who you help generation. Everybody was arguing. And I said, okay, since Brilla FM doesn't have, we would not have a record where we keep some of these key moments that we do, that we can flash back, like maybe foreign media does. I think I need to start saving up my own work on YouTube. That was the idea of going to YouTube. YouTube was not, to now own a business. Nah. I thought I was still being radio for a very long time. And I was enjoying what I was doing, even though the pay was shit. And then I started with Sports Saturday Hot, just for the fun of it first. So it was meant to be my bank. And then after one episode, I got fired. And then my former company, my former boss, wrote letters to all the radio stations and TV stations not to employ me, wrote to all the agencies not to give me a job, campaign, and the rest of them. So I knew this is necessity. I was bossed to the wall. I was kidnapped. I was tied with my hands to the back, blindfolded. I didn't know what to do. I had the option of completely going out of the media and going to work in NDC, because I come from a community that would always, I'm a graduate, right? My 2 degrees, I'll put them to work. And I'll go work in NDC. I will get over $500,000 salary, definitely. If I don't get that, I also know a lot of people who own contracts in Escravos that I could go work as a supervisor for. So those were my options. But I've already made up my mind that media was what I wanted to do. And I called my wife, because, listen, no matter how tough you are, if your wife is not on the journey with you, forget all this smart what they make. So I come out, I was like, baby, it's gonna be tough a little bit, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna make sure the family doesn't lack. There is no stress. So we'll need to move from our former house that we're staying. I moved to a more expensive house. That was a funny thing. But I needed to because where we're staying before, we're close to the generator house in the compound, and there was noise. And I want to start shooting from my house. I need a very quiet place. So we looked for a place where the flag is at the back, generator house in front. And we moved here, but it was a bit more expensive. I was like, you just lost your job, your last salary is 90,000 because you'll pay for half months. How are you going to foot the bill? I said, no problem. I'm a survivor. This is who I am. So long and short, I started. And as we're going, now realizing I can't get a job, the reality started hitting, and then they took my car. And I was like, I wanted to start doing Uber on the temporary basis. And then they took my car, and I was like, you know what? F it. I'm going to do this, and it's going to come out good. It's up to me to convince my inner self, find the will to get it done. Now, that thing that you faced that made you pack up, I faced it. Remember, I started out with Lagos State FA Cup, and I would cover the game, do everything, get my producer to edit, and we'll get 7 views. Even the 2 teams that we cover, that we put their match out there, at least they have like 30 players. You'll be expecting like 60 views or 40 or 20. Even the players that are playing in the game don't view it. So who am I convincing? Who am I doing this content for? But I just kept going. And then somewhere along the line, my mom used to say that, look around you, the signs, there's always a sign that will tell you you're on the right path. Okay, it could be leaves, it could be something. That's how my mom used to say it in the Yoruba language. And when you're going on a journey, you should always, there's this thing she says, every area have particular leaves that is very common with them. So if you're going to that area, you should know their leaves. So in YouTube too, the leaf was views, right? If you get maybe 10,000, 20,000 views, then you know. Then we did that video of Suleiman Ayomide, and we got 150,000 views. And that was the moment where I said, yes, this is the business that I want to do. This is where I want to be. But I want to take it to another level. I want to own my own radio station. I want to have my online radio and everything because I still like talking. And I just can't focus on just creating content. That's where I started. So as we kept going, Joel, it was just there. And, it was going and going and going. I think the biggest question people should ask is, where did the funding come from? Because that's very, very key. And you have to feed your family, you have to pay school fees. I have pretty much very expensive children. Then 2018, my wife's like, babe, like family planning don't fail you. I'm pregnant. That was the biggest fear, second half of 2018. I was like, okay, should we abort it? Should we take it out? We had that debate for a while. My wife wasn't happy. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. It was crazy because I was dealing with 2 children. It wasn't easy. And then you're bringing in a third one. When I was working in Brilla, any monthly salary, we said we don't want to touch that. So why are we going to have one now when we don't have a salary? But somehow it just kept going. And then we did the FA Cup again the following year. We got a small sponsorship. Money didn't come in as we expected it, but it was enough to keep us going. And then I started buying equipment, microphone, computer, mixers, improving the cameras and all that. And here we are today. So it wasn't like I've never earned a dime from YouTube. And when I say to people, it's like I've not collected a dime from YouTube. All the money, both the super chat that people give me, everything is still there. I've never taken a dime because I promised my team that I'm going to wait till we get up to $10,000, pull it out, and then everybody can just get something for themselves as thank you for the effort that they put in. So let's just survive and go through it like that. And the rest, as I say, is history. What I try to do is find job outside YouTube, like going to create content for people getting paid, doing this one, doing that one. And it has worked because I put myself everywhere. For the first 3 years, I think if there's 24 hours in a day, I was working 72 hours in a 24-hour day, and I was sleeping next to zero because, I was always thinking, what's the content to do? Right now, I know what to do. Right now, I know how do I put it? I know how to stay in my space, and the things that I'm looking for will come for me, like production of the league, the Nigerian league, for instance. We get paid, even though the money is not enough. We get paid, and we use it to augment some things, leveraging on relationship, to do some barter. Okay, I come to you, I do advert for you, I do this for you, and you pay me for that, or I help you create content, I do some promo for your schools. So all of those things are now what happened. But between 2017 and say 2021 was nothing. But I just had belief. And the reason for that is I'm the guy who never gives up. How you would know is go back to hard tackle. Go back to hard tackle. Even on the days where I lose, and I hardly lose, even on the days where I lose, I'm always a beast on the show. Like, I don't want to lose. So that's the mentality. That's the mentality. Don't forget that I've watched a whole lot of great people go from zero to hero. So I know it's not like, oh, I'm a novice here, I'm just coming in blind. No, I'm not coming in blind. The society is not good. Nigerians really don't like this type of, there's nobody who's doing sports who have a big YouTube channel. The only thing we like in Nigeria is either musicians or people who are putting naked videos and big yanch and big breasts. So I knew what I was facing before I came in. It wasn't an accident. But at the same time, I didn't want the people who sacked me to have a victory dance. Say, you see, is the reason why he have a mouth, a voice. We sacked him and he couldn't walk anywhere anymore. We dealt with him. I didn't want that to happen, because that would be a victory, not just against me, but against my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my entire generation, right? So anytime the Edafes come out and they want to make them say, shut up, so we don't do to you what like Zamoje did to your grandfather, your forefather. I wanted to shut that conversation down, because event easily take mythical position, become legendary position, and then they start using it as a signpost, as an acronym. Don't let me do you what I did to Idafi. I don't want that to happen. So I said to myself that if this is the last thing I do, they're never ready. I am the grandson of Dilikwi, the Ovie of Udu Kingdom. People don't understand what that means. First, I am royalty by blood. So if you come at me, I'm going to come and fight him. I'm not going to quit overnight. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. And that's exactly the mentality that I brought into this. So when the numbers are not rising, do I feel bad? Yes, I do. I feel bad because sometimes, I mean, even the YouTube people, when we had our last meeting, they said that I'm investing much in creating content, way more than a lot of other people. But at the same time, I've concluded that now I have a record. I have evidence of things that I do. Oh, I interviewed Martin Tyler. You can see that. I interviewed Wamba. It's there. Sime, Odegallo, Amaju Pinni, gonna draw. It's there. Imagine if I'd done that on radio and some new kids just got up and I start telling them that I've interviewed these people. I've gone for dinner or lunch with FIFA president Infantino, I've done this, I've done that. Those are, I beg, no evidence, right? So this, for me, is the goal, is the satisfaction. Money is the extra. So for those of you who go to do YouTube and focus on the money, you really might get frustrated if that's the only thing you focus on. But if you focus on making impact, if you look at what I've done, my work have changed the landscape of sports media in Nigeria. Before 2017, think back, grassroots teams do not have media presence. Today, the people like Coach Ayere have been reinvented. Teams, almost every team have media. Before 2017, nobody was streaming shit, not even on Facebook, not even on Instagram. Today, almost every team are streaming their game. This is me, the catalyst for that. If that doesn't satisfy me, even the money that comes that you're talking about will still not satisfy me. So, Joel, the truth is, I am very happy because my work have changed the face of football in Nigeria in terms of the media landscape against all odds. So I said this to my wife and she doesn't like me saying it, but if I died today, I made a bigger impact than I hope I was going to make when I started in 2004. So money is good. I need the money desperately. There's a whole lot of things. I need to revamp the studio. I need to buy more equipment. I need to, change my live stream and catch up to the best in the world. But I'm just saying this is the situation. Am I angry? Am I sad? No, I'm not. I'm very, very happy. Well, let's come back to our conversation that we're having and then we start reading your messages from the top. Odini Remuleka on YouTube. Okay, let me go to Instagram first. Sorry, guys. Let me take the Instagram people and then I'll come back to you guys. Okay. CB Philip 22 say Up United. Akbas Baba to say, I fear for Barcelona today because Pedri and Gavi won't be available. That's another minus. And this Manchester United team are on fire. As a Barcelona fan, I fear. So people say Barcelona win. Oh yeah, say, bro, what striker would you recommend for Arsenal next season to assist Gabriel Jesus? Because next season will be tougher. Marcus Thuram will be a good one. If they can bring in for Larry Balogun, now I think I would be okay with him coming back as a backup. It will be fine. But then again, Marcus Thuram is my guy, my go-to guy. Arsenal cannot buy the guy that pays Farastrella. What's his name? Arsenal cannot buy that guy. I don't think Napoli will sell Osimhen and say agree to sell that guy. But if Napoli goes on to win the league and win the Champions League, and I keep saying this nonsense, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, you're not a Chris. They just might sell the entire team anyway. But if Arsenal cannot get Farastrella, they should go get Marcus Thuram. I think he's a big man up there who can hammer in the goals. For Larry Balogun, I've gotten experience. I would have loved for him to stay another one more season on loan in France and establish himself so that this doesn't come across as a fluke performance and stay. So Marcus Thuram is my guy for that. Why will a company ask others not to employ you? Did you kidnap the director? Reach to ask. Nonsense. In this country, it's a big problem. Well, it's just the way we live our life. Phil Bobby said, I remember when I visited you, I was wondering how managed you were pushing through. You even went ahead to help those young graphic designers. God bless you. You more and more. Thank you very much, Philip. You know the story from the beginning, so I don't need to even explain to you. You were here from the very beginning. Limeritus _123 said, I've learned a whole lot from King Elegbete than any other journalist in the world. May God dethrone kings for the sake of your rising. Kudos, boss. And I can be king and I can be king on my side too. I don't want God to dethrone anybody. Just let me be my king and let me be king. I'm fine. Okay. Let me go to YouTube now. Then Rebecca say good morning, boss. Good morning to you. I think Klopp needs some fresh legs in the midfield, particularly. He let Wijnaldum leave and a bank on Keita to replace him. Keita have never been fit to play regularly as he predicted. And then he went on to say, even when he's fit, he comes in when momentum is really down before you know he's gone back to the hospital. And then the thing about football is, and I really feel for Keita. I think that Keita really wants to play. But you think when you keep going out injured and coming back, you now lose something very, very strong element in the game. It's called confidence. You can have everything. You can have talent, you can have skill, you can have fitness. But if you're not playing consistently, you lose that confidence. You start doubting yourself. Some things that you want to do instinctively, you start struggling to do them. And it's in those moments, football is a game of magic. It's in those moments that you lose those sharpness that probably the ball is coming, you want to twist and turn, but you're afraid that I feel injured. So you want to settle down and trap the ball, but the opposition that's is coming at a high speed, take the ball from you, and everybody blames you. That's lack of confidence is already a problem. But then I want to say, I think in City camp, the problem is more of a psychological thing. Before the World Cup, they are all playing to the rhythm of Pep and Haaland. Everybody was like they would destroy the EPL. And all of a sudden, after the World Cup, nothing has happened. But but after the World Cup, we have seen a different side of City. And then taking over the baton from Odino Rebellica is Goswin Obukamana Awari. He said, Rendo, let me start with Jack Grealish. Right from time, I have said it that Jack is a fluke. Now, because say an English player, that's why all these balls around him. And then Chike Ayalogo took over the pass from him after Goswin Awari. Did an overflip on Jack Grealish. Now Chike Ayalogu takes the ball and tried to make it with some turn, and he said, this is what he's going to say. He said the British are too sensitive to rubbish. Nothing wrong with Martinelli's celebration. Yeah, and just as when he said that, Ikbawansa running on the flag and got the pass, and this is what he's going to say. Well, Ikbawan Osage said, Napoli is going to win the Serie A unless there is a massive capitulation, which I don't see happening. And then Goswin Obukamana Awari in midfield called for the ball, and this is what he's gonna say. He said, Also, I'm thinking Pep is favoring the English with him because I see no reason when he would want to bench Foden for Jack. But Foden again is an Englishman, so where does that land us? And then it gets the pass to Ikpewe Osage, who said with one or two signings, Man United will be among the favorites to win the EPL next season. The problem with City is that looking at the team, you can't really point out areas they need to strengthen. I agree with you completely. And not letting the pass go, still holding on to the pass. Ikpewe Osage said City's issue is that they can't be playing at 100% every time, as the performances of the team, whereas other teams are improving and have caught up with them. They need to freshen the squad. Okay, bring the money out. One man who is very, very cautious and afraid to speak these days, running from the bench and call for the pass. His name is Eze Patrick. He just says, good morning, everyone. That's what happens when you eat humble pie. You go about greeting people unnecessarily. Just making the pass like Mikel Obi, receive the pass and give it back. And Goswill, our Bukomena, was there to pick it up and he said, Eze Patrick, oh, good morning, welcome back from exile. And Eze Patrick is there again to take the baton, and this is what he's got to say. He said, it is the end of an era of this Liverpool team, and hopefully we'll get it right again. Okay, he's praying and hoping, wishing and hoping. If horses were, if horses, which wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Right now, he's a beggar. Ayodele Owolabi in the right arm flank of the team, calling for the pass and duly got it from Eze Patrick. He said, "You're too real, Elevator. No time. I hear you speak, and I am not moved." Man, thank you very much. A man full of belief. You evolve with happenings and boss. You know this already, but I'm reaffirming is so guaranteed. And then there's a party say, give me my boy. If all you want to do is sing praises of the presenter, I have something to say. And then he says, God's will. Oh, one day, don't turn exile. Hey, try to calm down. Okay, nice. My bantering. And Ayodele Owolabi is there to slide in a tackle and get Eze Patrick out of the conversation. He said, your future is so guaranteed. Amen. I think I have to say that Gus Will would not take that line low. He's going to come in and say something. And definitely he did came in to say something. This is what he had to say to Eze Patrick. He said, Eze Patrick, the most important day of the year, you try. I'm having fun in the studio today. If you're not having fun, that's your own business. I'm just reinventing a way to read messages. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I will not apologize for doing things the way I like to do things. Okay, let me see. On Instagram, Eze Patrick got the jibe and the tackle here. And this one is coming from Daily Manor. He said, Eze Patrick coming back from the cave. With a smiley face there. And Prince Venga 20 say, good morning, sir, and to everyone. Somebody's greeting you all. Baba J615. He said, Senior Broming or Brendo, how you doing? Who's that person? Okay, Daily Man, I say, absolutely love the way you were reading the comment. And let's get back to YouTube and see what guys have got to say. They said the most important day was the day that it disappeared. And then the Olarawaju, you know, I like the name. The name just represents an entire family, right? The Olarawaju shows up with his clan, and this is what he's going to say. He said, what for all you do, aside from Salah and a few players, I think Liverpool needs an overhaul. Like they need to go to the mechanic garage and go to Gas Monkey, probably to do a turnaround maintenance, and probably to come back and challenge for top four. Because when you mention Liverpool and the title right now, you have to wait for another 30 years. If you're a Liverpool fan and you're hoping to win the title, say but it's not going to happen because the title is not being given by AY the comedian or Chris Okoche at his church there. Whatever you think, that title is not going to be in Liverpool's hand in the next 10 years at least. Liverpool cannot win the Premier League title in the next 10 years unless probably the Saudi Prince comes and buys the club and decides to invest over $1 billion in the club. But for now, with the kind of owner that they have, if this owner stays for the next 10 years, my dear, Liverpool are not winning. I know some Liverpool fans will say, oh, Daphne, you are evil. No, I'm not evil. I'm not stating the obvious. Yeah, same way my United fans said I was evil in 2013. Have we not seen the 10 years that I mentioned? Okay. They should start preparing for evil Salah exit. They are in trouble. Small boy, you're in trouble. Yes, the first Alibaba the 42th. Go and watch that thing. Aladdin. Yes, Alibaba the 42th. Small boy, you're in trouble. They spoke pidgin English in that film. I was shocked. You know, in the 80s. Okay, the Olawa says, Hope they don't go another 30 years. They are on the journey for another 30 years. And Eze Patrick wanted to say something. He would not just go without having a say on this one. And so this is what he's got to say. He said, with Klopp, it will be just a year. Really? Atula Johnson. He said, tough time never lasts, tough people do. It is always hard in the beginning. That's what he says. That seems like a midfielder who's given a pass straight for somebody up front. But then, who's the guy that got the pass? Is Eze Patrick. He definitely cannot score a goal. He can't score a goal to save his life or to save Liverpool. He said, bros, if Grealish, that Ogbori, then I beg, find one name, give Keita. Keita is a Legbere. Yes, he's a Legbere that should be working as an apprentice to a Babalawo in some village in Okitipupa, but he's still playing for Liverpool. That's how Liverpool can be described. Liverpool, they are in shambles right now. Well, choose about Justice, not a regular player on this team, but he's got a shot to try to prove himself like Garnacho for Manchester United. And I wonder what he's got to say. He said, please, do you think Chelsea should maintain Potter since he is still blending the players just like what Arteta did last year with Arsenal for or Potter should be sacked? Listen, Arteta, from the get-go, we knew where he was going. We knew the mission, and we knew it was a matter of time. First off, we need to flog out the dead woods and then help get in new players, and we knew what we were going to get. With Graham Potter, Chelsea people, you guys have spent £601 million already. Just this window, you spent £300 million, and the man cannot even figure out a way for the team to play. That's the primary thing that a coach needs to do. It's okay, he has created a system that they're playing, just that they're not winning, but the system is good. Eventually, when they get going and then they plug in one or two more players in the attack that will be scoring the goals, they'll get going. But this Chelsea team, everybody is doing what is written in the Bible. To your tent, O Israel, all man for himself, God for all. That's never going to work, and it's because they have a bad coach. What I would say to you is, Graham Potter, this sport should be broken. And they should go and buy a drum, because this sport cannot hold water anymore. It's worse than a leaking basket. So let him go. If your coach do naga naga, let him go. Yes, that's the way you let him go. It's not me, it's a song. It's a dance song. It's a Jamaican song. So don't think I'm the one that invented it. It's not a worry song. It's a Jamaican dance song. So that's what I suggest for Potter. Yes, I know that you guys signed him because one of the greatest, most respected pastor in the world, pastor in church called the Potter's House. And so his name is TD Jakes. So you guys thought, okay, if we don't get somebody who is a potter, he would get the anointing of TD Jakes. Yeah, you can call yourself TD Jakes and still not even get the anointing. Not talk about Potter. So Graham Potter, Graham Bell, Graham whatever, get out of the way and let Chelsea, who's one of the best clubs in the last 20 years in Europe, among Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. Those are the four best clubs in the last 20 years. But Chelsea right now, even better insurance will be there for 5. That's the way I see them. Okay. Choose about Justice. He said, may God bless your work. Thank you very much. Odino Remileko, who I thought had been substituted, has shown up again. He's been quiet like Erling Haaland, not touched the ball, not seen anything. And all of a sudden, he showed up. He said the Coach Ayere coverage was a super millionaire project. Yes, it was 5.2 million, but I think it was money well spent as far as I'm concerned. If our works will make one person better in their career, eventually it will pay off, because these are Nigerians who will eventually come back to do good or probably represent the image of the country very well. So I think it's something that I'm very, very proud of. And it was just one thing that I felt, you know what, let's do this one and put our name out there on the big screen. And I guess it works, because after that we did the Ebenezer and see how things are going. All of those things are the reason why we were called to come produce the Nigerian League. Just imagine if we didn't do those ones, nobody would call us, because the Nigerian production is one of those things you get without even applying for or writing a proposal or calling anybody. Just kind of call out of the blues. Are you the one that did this? Are you the video? Are you the one that did this one? Are you the one that did this one? We need you. Can you produce the league matches? And I said, yes, I can. Let's get it going. And I got the team together. And we've done, in Jos, we've done in Benina. We're hoping to do some more. If not for the fact that there's a sit-at-home order in the East, we would have done in Aba, we would have done in, Umuahia as well, and Enugu. But unfortunately, the sit-at-home order just have a way of affecting the work, because you can't, when you finish on Monday, you can't keep a crew of 35 in their hotel. My brother, you will run into them too. That one already says, small boy, you're in trouble. Right, let's go. The Olariwa just back again in midfield and running the ball with Liverpool conversation right now. So Liverpool needs to invest in midfield, and they don't have a creator in the middle. All of them are either injury prone or off form. too often. Klopp refused to regenerate it since 3 years ago. I agree with you 100%. And that has come home. The chicken, as my former boss would say, the chicken have come home to roost. Okay? Ogunjimi Mobolaji, he said almost all the top four from Arsenal to Man City to Newcastle have dropped many points except Man United, and that's why we think Newcastle may not finish in the top four. Here's a Patrick, he said, Una don't finish me today, even Chelsea fans. Yes, you're so bad that Chelsea fans can throw a post at you and not feel like they are doing anything wrong. Ashiri Ibrahim, you say good morning, sir. And everyone listening, you have to give Liverpool defense a new name because I don't tire for them. They are called shaky shakers. That Liverpool defense is shakers right now. They are shakers. They are shaking their stash when they don't do well. They shake. They're not balanced. They have the entire defense have Parkinson. Okay, Sunday Clatus, he said good morning, sir. Good morning to you. This theory of Pep overthinking, I don't get it. When results don't go in his favor, people say he's overthinking. Once in a while, games might not go how it is expected. That's it. Even me too, I'm with you on that one. I don't think a 1-1 draw away in Germany is overthinking or is a bad result. That's my opinion. I might be wrong. So when people come up with all this stuff, I just wonder. It's the talk all over the UK that is overthinkering. I don't think so. Players were injured. He had to make a call and he made a good judgment call. And now they're saying, oh, he's been playing 3 at the back. Why did he go to play 4 at the back? Was that the reason why they considered that goal? That's not the reason. So I'm not understanding British analysts. But hey, it is what it is. That's the way they see it. So let's sit down and watch. But I think Man United is in the competition now rather next season because all the clubs will reload for new season. Yeah, but I don't think Man United will win the league title this season, even though I think, yeah, they have a hand in competing for the title. They deserve to be up there, but I don't think they will win the league title. That's what I think. And I don't think that Man City would also win it. Now it's beginning to look like Arsenal truly will win the title. Not because I am overconfident or getting cocky. I just think that Man City will usher Arsenal into it. How do I mean? Man City would stop some of the other teams from winning and then keep on dropping points when it matters most. And then Arsenal would just go on that run that would help them to win. I still think that Arteta will create another 11-game unbeaten run, and those are the run that will decide the title. If they can brave it, stay on top, and Gabriel comes back fit, they shouldn't rush him, comes back fit and ready, and the title is over. The title race is what? It's over. But then Gabriel, we all know that it's also injury prone. He might come back and then go back again. I pray that doesn't happen anyway. Okay, Ashiru Ibrahim Zebras. That Ten Hag, that 10 years long, I beg, help us reduce that. Reduce them to what? To 15? Ashiru Ibrahim said, Keita is an apprentice for a Babalawo, and he's laughing. Temitayo, he said, Liverpool don't suffer. Their suffering continue. They are doing youth service. NYC, now your suffer continue. Here's a Patrick, he said, boss, quickly, your honest opinion about the chances of the Super Falcons at the World Cup. I don't trust the coach of the Super Falcons. And I've said this many times. I think the Super Falcons have good players, but they have a coach that is worse than Graham Potter. That's the only coach in the world. Randy Wardrum. You don't put a man who have the name Randy next to women. Randy, women? Nah. Randy Wardrum is just a wardrobe without clothes. It's a box. It's a useless wooden box. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think he's a good coach. And I hardly say this about coaches, but I don't think he's a good coach. So because of that, the players are just going to play. Because when you coach women, coaching women is actually different from men. Also coaching men, you need to be able to make them see each other on the same wavelength, on the same page, right? It's not just enough to just pick the players and select them like Christian Chukwu. Wardrum is another Christian Chukwu. Boys, boys, when you get the ball, give it to a coach, I know what to do. Nah, that's not coaching, okay? And that's exactly what the Falcons are. So I'm not, if you notice, I don't say much about them because I don't want to criticize the players. I don't think the players are bad, but I know we don't have a good coach and we're just hanging in there pretending like miraculously something would happen. Well, what he brought to the table was the fact that he helped us to get some big friendly games to play. I think what it would have been good for was to be a technical director. Unfortunately, we have already have that. A technical director for the women's team, or is a match agent for the women's team, and then we get a good coach. These players, ex-players of the team, if you ask me, I will pick Anchejine as a coach of the Falcons. But hey, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Like Ice Prince or what's this? The Prince. So let me just leave it there. I don't have any hope on them. Timothy Deimbo, one of our fantastic writers. Thank you for your write-up on the web page, on the website. Yeah, he said it was great to see the Flying Eagles yesterday, though the play wasn't so impressive. So what was great to see? They just won. They managed to win. That was fair. Let my people go and use D to pass exam, and you go home and your train party. So what are the people who get A plus? D minus even. I need to pass exam. Okay. Well, what did I say? But what matters was the 3-point, and that header from Solomon and Malaka was top notch. I agree with you on that one. Other than that, every other thing was shambolic. Timothy Diamond said, I'm looking to talk to Coach Monday Odigie how he has managed that team to win 7 and draw 2 in 9 games is beyond just tactics for me. And I'd like to let people know that story. We're waiting to read the story on the website. Here's a Patrick. He said, are you still in touch with Coach? Yes. As a matter of fact, we spoke a couple of days ago when I heard the news that he's signed for Benin Republic. And he said he's not signed, but they've reached out to him. They are having a conversation. He's trying to avoid the mistakes of what happened in Nigeria. He's trying to avoid trusting people too much. And he wants to get contracts and guarantees before he signs. But, I mean, he's looking forward to come back to football, and it will be nice. If that happens, I should come and pay him a visit. I said, okay. After all, I owe him a visit. I told him I was going to come visit him in south of France. I've been working too much on so many things, and then my son not been fine for the past 18 months. Also, I made it almost impossible for me to travel very far. But now surgery is done, it's fine, it's good. I think I can, go on a trip, right? So if he comes to Benin Republic, it's not just backyard. I just wear my canvas and jog to Benin Republic now. Just do road work, do exercise, burn some calories. By the time I come back, I would only pass Buhari. I don't vanish. I'll come and say, from top, I assure you. I'll take you from top to bottom. All right. Yes, this is where we're going to cutting on the show today. I am no Sakari. He said, all Bendel Insurance. Ada Bendel. Okay, good morning. I say thank you very much. It's time for me to pack my bags and baggages and leave the studio. But before I go, it's election weekend, right? And people have been told vote wisely. I'm not going to tell you to vote for. If what you've gone through in the last 8 years does not help you to decide, that's your business. But this is what I'm going to say, and I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. As you're voting who the president will be, please be conscious about who you vote as a senator, as your rep, as your state governor. You see, the thing is, Nigeria is not bad because of any president. It's not a president that have made Nigeria bad. You people just get it wrong. If each of the states deploy the resources, the small resources given to them, the way they are meant to, and the agencies like NDDC, for instance, also deploys their, some of us don't even will come Lagos. We'll not come congest Lagos, create unnecessary traffic. We'll all be doing business in our respective states. Then we cannot talk about the president. But now we have a country where we vote idiots, charlatans, criminals. We know that they are criminals. We vote them into power in the states as senators, and then we don't even question them. If you do not have the power to question the state governor, you don't have the power to question somebody who is in your state House of Assembly, or a representative in the National Assembly, or a senator. What power do you think you would have to question the president once he's in power? That's some of the things you should think about in these few days leading to the election. I said my piece. I've done my show. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. As Patrick came in with a kitchen sink, throwing in the kitchen sink, want to have the last word on the show. He said, I just hope the Flying Eagles qualify for the World Cup. 2 players from that team trained with me during COVID. Let them get teams in Europe. Everybody's on their own personal agenda. Oya Boba, say good morning. Ogaida, good morning to you. I went to a POS agent yesterday. I wanted to collect 5K cash, but I was told I had to do what Liverpool did the day before. Use 2K to collect 5K. Well, thank you very much for sending that one in and making it light at the end of the show. Just when we are leaving. Again, because of the question that Joel asked, too often we find ourselves. And there's this comment that people make, especially motivational speaker: find what you love and do it so that you can grow in it. Listen, that's a lie. That's a very big lie. Love everything you do. We're not, see, the first people that invented those things, they spoke those things in countries that the economy is stable. My mom used to say a word in the Yoruba language: Omomi, go to Rijebu. If you go beg person money, can't give money wait here. You don't go say, the money tier change up. If somebody dash you money, you know they can't have. He dash you. If you can't have, if you're not correct, what you go do? Right? So in life, love what you do. Peradventure, somewhere down the line, your being good at it might just change your life. Remember, it's a hustle. There is always the one before two, two before three. If you can win in one, you might have gotten in your CV. That's why you see footballers sometimes they go and start in Estonia. Their dream is to play for Real Madrid. They don't love Estonia or Latvia or Norway. But eventually they will grow. So anywhere you find yourself, even Bible tells you, whatever your hand finds to do, do it well. Don't come with the crap of if you're doing a job, you don't love it, quit. Quit, go where? Go to Amraba or go to work for MC Normal. I don't understand. Don't quit. Oh. Love what you do till you find something else again and keep loving it until you become a master in your space. Work is always hard. Whether you do work for person or you do your own work, it's always hard. It's not going to be easy. Okay? So that I mean you should, if you want what you love, go lick ice cream as work. Go make love. Those are the things we love. But when you do it too, the cost of sending children to school and the cost of paying for diapers and the rest of it, you would understand. So love anything you do, help to build the nation. That's all I can say. That's my final parting shot on the show today. Don't forget, my name is Naby Mathias. You're going to love to come in and go to sports. It's been a fantastic and wonderful time on the Sports Buffet on Elevator TV Radio. Tomorrow is the Friday edition. Join me here. Let's have some fun. Bye-bye and have a wonderful, wonderful and fantastic day.